The Cast Compass Podcast, hosted by Michelle and Lisa Cast. Welcome to the Cast Compass Podcast. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Lisa. And we're a couple of moms, and your hosts on this wild, beautiful ride called life.
We're here to help you navigate your next phase, whether that's family building, career shifts, personal growth, or rewriting the story of what your life should look like.
Our path hasn't been traditional. IVF, job losses, parenting through chaos, starting over in our 40s. But we've learned how to trust our gut and follow our compass, even when it's scary.
Each week we'll bring real talk, a little astrology, a lot of heart, and stories that make you feel seen.
So if you're craving connection, clarity, and maybe a cocktail along the way,
welcome home.
Welcome to the Cast Compass Podcast. We're Michelle and Lisa, partners in life, moms to our 3-year-old son, Leo.
And guides for anyone navigating their next big chapter. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Lisa.
And this is episode 12.
No One Fights Alone, Building Fertility Community with Kristen Palazzolo.
Infertility can feel so isolating, but it doesn't have to be.
Today's guest has turned her own struggle into a source of strength and support for so many.
Kristen is a passionate advocate, mother, and infertility warrior. Diagnosed with PCOS at 18 and later with endometriosis, she has walked this road firsthand.
After loss, resilience, and IVF, she welcomed her daughter and now leads a thriving support community. Kristen, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here, and I can't wait for you to guess my zodiac sign.
I feel like Lisa thinks she already guessed it.
I don't know. I can't remember. You know what's so funny? Last night I was like, what did I think it was again? But anyway, we'll have to see.
So we are so excited to have you and to learn more about your journey and your support group, especially as a fellow PCOS mama. And we were referred to Kristen by a friend of ours who actually goes to our son's school. So it's such a great community to be a part of, and I'm grateful that we were brought together. Yeah,
connected.
So and she was actually the one who really helped me through my journey. So
that's awesome.
That's amazing. It's important. We were just talking about how it takes a village, even before a baby gets here. You know, the IVF process is it's taxing mentally and emotionally and physically. So it's always important to have people around you to support you. And honestly, that's what Kristen has kind of done. She's made this enormous community, which is fantastic. But let's start from the beginning. Kristen, tell us about your early diagnosis, loss, mental health. Go ahead, jump right in.
Yeah, so when I was a teenager, I had super painful periods, would throw up because I was in so much pain, and eventually went on birth control, even though my mom wasn't thrilled about that, because that's what my doctor suggested to help with the pain. And I was told at that time by my gynecologist that I would most likely have trouble getting pregnant in the future because of me having PCOS. So they were able to diagnose me with a sonogram and looking at my ovaries and could see the cysts and the growths on the sonogram. So yeah, I always have had that in the back of my mind ever since I was a teenager. And it took me, 29 years to find my partner and get married, which, sounds young, but when we're talking about making babies, you're really starting to creep into 30s. And then, as we know, hitting 35 is like that age where it goes downhill, or so they say. So, I said to my husband early on, we need to get the ball rolling on this soon because I knew that it was most likely going to be hard for me. And my mom was like, no, you'll be fine. I got pregnant right away. And my mother-in-law had 5 boys, so she had 5 kids, no problem. But she started making them at 16, so she started a little bit younger than I did. So we tried naturally for a long time, and I suffer from anxiety and depression. So, thinking about IVF was really scary for me because I was under the assumption that it was going to make my anxiety and or depression even worse. So I was really scared about that. So it took me a really long time to finally get up the courage to to do IVF. But before that, I went down a different route with a gynecologist who did surgery on me and diagnosed me with endometriosis. So that was in 2019. And then right after that surgery, I actually did get pregnant naturally. And most likely because he cleared something out from the endometriosis that was blocking something from getting to the right place. And, but that ended in a miscarriage in January of 2020. My father-in-law actually passed away the same week, likely from COVID. We don't really know because it was January 2020 and it was still like before we really even knew what was going on with COVID. And then obviously everything shut down, so we couldn't even start IVF, in 2020. And then eventually I got up the courage to do it in 2022, and I had my daughter Madeline in 2023.
I kind of have chills. We have such similar stories.
I know.
It's
It's like
crazy.
we were parallel doing things, like
Yeah.
going through things at the same time.
And similarly for me too, when I was a teenager, right, I had very irregular periods and had the ultrasounds and found out that I had PCOS. I had a really hard time, right, with my weight. That's like a signature of PCOS, the extra hair growth, the hair loss, the acne, all the symptoms. And I had an OBGYN at the time also tell me that I might have a hard time having children, especially if I didn't lose weight. So that's when we took our journey down our weight loss path.
Yeah.
And then that is actually why we started with me, because that doctor told us that it would be harder. And this is why it's so important. We're talking so much about how we wish that people had fertility workups earlier, right? Because for Lisa, she never had an issue. No endometriosis, no PCOS, nothing to speak of, regular periods. And she's actually been the one
With
having
the
a harder
struggle.
time. So it's so interesting. And same as you, we're going to do our first IUI right before COVID.
Yeah.
And then everything got put on hold. So, but it's so brave that you were able to get back to it and, have your daughter, right? What a gift it is that you were able to kind of find that strength to face it again in 2022.
We know, the strength it takes to start again after, those are two huge losses right back to back, literally within the same week. That's a lot to take.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, that's huge.
Yeah. And having gone through it yourself, I can really see why you would have been called, right, to create both the support group and your nonprofit. We're going to start with your support group. So would love to hear the story about, other than your own journey, right, what brought you to say, like, let me get a community together?
So it was actually a combination of things. So I used a doula when I gave birth to my daughter, and she connected me with a resource through the Nesting Place on Long Island. And they have a support group called the Fourth Trimester Support Circle. And it's a support group in person that is designed for moms who are in the fourth trimester. So those first 3 months after the baby is born. While I was in that, I kind of started thinking, man, it would be really cool if there was like an IVF doula, like someone to help you get through IVF treatments, because I really had a hard time with it and felt very alone, and everyone in my family was very confused about what I was going through and just didn't understand why I needed to do it. Or like how it worked. So it was even hard to like talk about with the people who were closest to me. So I started brainstorming that, and then my pastor actually gave a sermon maybe in like December or January of this past year, and he was talking about basically how it doesn't really matter how much money you make. What matters is that you're doing what God put you here to do. And that's what's going to bring you the most happiness and fulfillment in life. And that's what God wants for us, because God wants what's best for us. And that really made me think, like, what am I here to do? Like, what did God place me on this earth to do? And I really think it is to bring people together. Like, I've always been the one who organizes the girls' trip out, to the beach, or, plans all the games for the bachelorette party, or, plans at a lunch or brunch for, the girls to get together. Like, I'm always the planner, and I'm always the person who's bringing people together. So then I was kind of like, what if I did something like the Nesting Place does for the fourth trimester support circle, but for women going through IVF and infertility treatments? And so I reached out to the Nesting Place for support. They had my back 100%. They helped me promote it. I got the ball rolling with my group through them because they were helping me get it off the ground. And it's just kind of snowballed from there. They recommended that I keep it virtual to cast a wider net and be able to capture more people. Plus, I have a 2-year-old now, so it's a little hard to get around and get places. And, virtual is definitely the preferred method of meeting up at this point in my life as well. So yeah, it's just kind of taken on a life of its own through word of mouth and social media. And now I got my fertility clinic involved. They've been promoting it for me. So yeah, it's just grown into this big, beautiful thing, but it's just the beginning. Like you guys said with your podcast, like this is just the beginning. And I can smell the growth and the excitement and the just, fruits of our labor and our passion ahead.
I mean, I feel it too. Like, it's so interesting too to like hear you say you felt called, right? Whether you believe God, universe, higher power, right? Like, we can so relate to that feeling.
Yes.
Of like, what am I meant to do here? Bringing people together. Similar, like you said, it's just the beginning, but it really is a powerful thing you're creating because it doesn't exist. And we were, 2 episodes ago talking with our fertility doctor, Dr. Levine, and he talked about the importance of support, right? People who are going through cancer treatments, they literally are getting mental health support at all turns, right? And it's not something that is inherent in IVF.
Right. Well, I think it's becoming more and more of the forefront, right? More people are being vocal about it, sharing their stories about IVF. A lot of people don't do it. The 3 of us are doing it, right. And Kristen put it to work. She put it together, and really, it's taking off, and it's off the ground, and it's incredible. And we're so glad that we're able to share it with our community now. And I mean, we should really tell CCRM about it too.
We should. I know. And you have to start somewhere, right? Like you said, it's only the beginning. It would be great to hear too for people about some of the stuff we've spoken about when we were planning for today. Your plans to segment the group. You've got single moms by choice, same-sex couples, childless women, people trying for 2 or 3. It would be great to hear more about that so people can understand that no matter what bucket they fall in, there's a place for them in your group.
Yeah, I mean, we started with one group, and that's what we're rolling with right now. We're up to 23 women in the group, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Like you said, we have same-sex couple. We have women who are choosing single motherhood with a sperm donor. We have women who are experiencing secondary infertility. We have women who are childless, and then we also have women who haven't even started their journey yet, but they are in here just to hear what we're going through to help them build the confidence to do it. So it's not just for women who are going through IVF. It's really for anyone who's experiencing infertility and is exploring their options and just want to connect with someone who can at least identify with one of the things that we're going through. But we have started to identify opportunities to create groups for specific segments of women. We are launching our second group, so our first group outside of the group that started it all, which is going to be for queer women. So one of the girls in my group, her name is Becca. She's actually a therapist by trade, but she's going to be leading the group as a peer, not as a therapist. And she's going through IVF treatments and to plan and start a family with her wife, Katerina. And so Katerina sometimes comes to like support her, but Becca's the one going through the treatments and everything, and has been looking for that support from other women who are going through this. But, you know, I think she was having trouble, relating to some of the things that some of the other women in the group were going through, understandably, because it's a very different type of situation to be going through, especially with insurance and navigating that and just dealing with all the things that our government should protect us from, but doesn't. And so yeah, so Becca's going to be starting that group on Monday nights. It'll start on the first Monday in August at 8 p.m. over Zoom. And yeah, she's going to be leading a group for queer women that are going through IVF. Non-binary folks are welcome to join as well. And we just want to make sure that they have a space to feel comfortable and understood and accepted, because I think you never really know what room you're walking into, and that can make some people very apprehensive about joining a group like this. So any barriers that I can eliminate to a woman joining this group, I want to eliminate. And Becca stepped up and wanted to lead a group after I started expressing the desire to create some separate groups. So I'm really excited to launch that one with her. We're also going to be launching another one in the fall specifically for childless women, because it can be very triggering for some childless women to hear from women who are trying for a second or third. And I get that because I felt the same way when I was childless trying to have a baby. Now, I'm seeing the world through a much different lens than I was before I had my daughter. But I can understand where those women are coming from and why they're apprehensive to join the group. So I want to create a space for them as well.
It's so nuanced, right? I mean, even so many things, like even within our relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like I've carried our child, my biological child, and Lisa hasn't had that experience yet. So like, it might be interesting to see, like Lisa might actually want to join the childless group, whereas I might want to join the LGBTQ group, right? Like it's so interesting.
Yeah, we were just talking actually last night about how we're moving forward in our IVF journey and how we're trying to optimize us both to take steps to see who's going to have the next baby. And, Michelle said to me, like, if it's me again, are you going to be okay? And I was like, if I never have a biological child, that pain will never leave me. That will stay with me forever. I will just do the work to heal as much as I can and obviously enjoy our family as it is. Like, that's what I want ultimately, is to have a sibling for Leo. But, and so she was like, I think it's interesting for Michelle in her position to not be able to fully relate to me, because up until this point, we've been able to relate to each other so much, but like here we are literally under our own roof, kind of going through this and being able to sort of, maybe have a space for me to go and for her to go and, and us to even go together. Right. Yeah, totally. So it's amazing. It really is amazing what you're doing here. And we're happy to watch it.
Absolutely. And I do also want to hold space for something you said, Kristen, which is something I actually never thought about, right? As a heterosexual couple, right, for people in your life, your friends, your family, to not understand why you're doing IVF.
Yes.
That's, like, to me, I never even thought about that, right? Because obviously we have to do, we could do IUI, but we have to do some
We have to be at a fertility clinic. Right. Or, we do have friends who did it on their own at home, but overall, right, we have to have some sort of assistance. And scientific support. Right. So, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's sort of like, for a moment, it blew my mind a little bit, like, oh, gosh. Did Kristen get like pushback from her family? Like, was it hard for anybody to really connect with her at the process? Like, was that difficult for you? Was there a little bit of conflict between you? And, maybe I feel like the moms always have a thing, right? Like, what do you do? And why do you got to do that? You don't need to do that. I had 5 kids all by myself. I blinked an eye and they were here. You know what I mean? You know how they are on Long Island.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And my mom was very skeptical of the process. She called it weird more times than I would have liked her to. So that was hard, and she's definitely been through a lot of therapy, and has apologized, and we've really like had some good conversations since my daughter has come into the world. And my dad just made weird comments. My dad always makes weird comments, though. It's not specific to IVF, so I just have one of those dads. Um, but yeah, I mean, and I talked to other people in my family about it, but other girls in my family, like my cousins, weren't dealing with infertility like I was. So they were supportive. And, like my cousin is a nurse and we were both pregnant at the same time. And so she helped give my injections when I had to do the progesterone shots because they're a little hard to give yourself in the butt. But she couldn't relate to me and really understand what I was going through. Even though we were going through pregnancy together, there was still that extra element. And then all this extra testing that I had to go through as an IVF mom as well, because there are elevated risks for things like heart defects. So you end up going to like a maternal fetal medicine clinic to get extra testing to make sure that your baby's okay. So, we went through our pregnancies together, but my experience in doctor's offices was very different than her experience in doctor's offices.
Well, I mean, it is great to hear, though, that your family tried their best and that your mom and you have since kind of repaired that. I heard something interesting recently, like our moms are also living life for the first time, right? So, and things are very different now than they were when they were having children, and we're older and they were much younger. So, the way that they are open to like understanding and learning and trying to come around to what we are going through, it's beautiful to see and to have that support. So I'm glad you guys were able to work through that and come together.
Yeah,
And honestly, that's been one of the greatest assets that the group has really developed, and that's creating a space for these women to vent about the crazy shit that their parents or their cousins or friends or coworkers say to them about them going through this journey. I mean, it's really interesting to hear what some people come up with.
Yeah. We've been lucky.
We've been pretty lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, I have this one coworker, bless her heart.
We know what that means.
She means nothing by it,
Oh man. Yeah.
Anyway, I won't.
But that exactly.
We'll go to the meeting.
I'm definitely going to check out one of those Monday night meetings.
But even that one person can do a lot to your mental health when you're going through something like this,
It's true.
We've had to build this strong mental and emotional kind of like shell in a sense to be able to take these phrases and sayings and what is it, the toxic positivity and things that people just can't connect with us on it.
Yeah.
And we know, right, the world, just most of the people around us mean so well, right? But talking more about it, right, and being more open about it, and hopefully maybe there's somebody who's going to see this and be like, oh wow, like I should probably maybe help my friend going through IVF, or my sister or my cousin or whoever. Maybe I should be a little more sensitive to it. And this is kind of a little bit of an education.
Yeah, I mean, our Dr. Levine said it 2 episodes ago. 1 in 6 people will experience infertility. If you're in a family with 12 people, 2 of those people might experience infertility. That's insane.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. Okay, well, more amazingness. Talk to us about launching the IVF Warrior Princess Fund. What's the mission, the vision, the goals?
Yeah, so I'm in the process of starting a nonprofit. The support group is obviously the first piece of that, but I have plans to build upon it and just create a community of support for women everywhere going through IVFs, whether that be emotional support, financial support, giving them peer verified resources of other practitioners out there that can help them on their journey. As well as advocacy, really, this is a bipartisan issue. Both sides have expressed that they want to help people build families, period, end of sentence. And IVF is a way to do that, but it is expensive and it's not accessible everywhere in this country. I mean, we are lucky to live in New York where there are a lot of options for us, but other parts of the country don't have that. So yeah, I really just want to get really noisy and create a lot of noise about the need for more to support the families that are going through this because we didn't do anything to deserve this. And it would be nice to see more financial support options out there.
Love it. I mean, you don't have to talk to us about that. We're right behind you.
But it's so interesting to see the difference between our episode with Dr. Levine, right? Talking about it from a doctor's perspective, talking about it from the current administrative perspective, and then to hear, right, a mom going through it firsthand, seeing in her community the impact it's having on people. We all have the same goal.
Right.
But
and having a call to action.
Yeah.
Right. Kristen is putting, putting it all into motion, the support in so many ways. And it's quite amazing to see and hear. So thank you so much.
And the reason why I call it the IVF Warrior Princess Fund is because we are all warriors, but we are also princesses and should be treated as such because we are going through it. And I just like to remind people that if you know someone going through infertility treatments, just be extra gentle with them and, do nice things for them. And if they say something nasty or do something that's out of character, let it slide because we're going through some crazy hormonal shifts.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm a Leo. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would say princesses, I would say queens. That's just me, because I'm a true Leo queen.
You are, my love. You are.
So, Kristen, really, what you've created is so meaningful and important for people on this journey. How can they join you? Both join the group, right? We'll have to share some resources, but also support the fund.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can follow me on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Your Pal Kristen. And then the organization is going to be at ivfsupport.org. And you can visit our website, ivfsupport.org. There's a sign up form on the website, or you can just DM me on Instagram and I'll get you all the info you need to join the group. Once you join the group, you'll have access to our WhatsApp group as well. So on top of meeting weekly on Zoom on Thursday nights at 8 p.m., and then the other group is going to be on Mondays at 8, we also have this WhatsApp group to communicate with each other throughout the week. So if a coworker says something nasty, we can go into the WhatsApp chat and vent about it really quick. So it's totally free. People come and go as they please, and it's no pressure. Like, I did my makeup today for this podcast, but I usually on the Zoom look like a complete hot mess. Because I just want these women to feel comfortable coming as they are. Because I'll be honest, when I was going through treatments, I laid in my bed in the dark and my PJs smelling not too great quite a bit. It really did impact my depression quite a bit. So, I want them to feel comfortable coming in whatever state that they're in.
That's awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
We love it.
And motherhood has us in all states.
Oh gosh, all the time, all times. Forget it. I had jury duty today, and so I had to be ready to go at 8:45 to then come here and film this podcast.
Oh
so
my gosh!
And we get to go home and do bedtime, so
that's right.
The day does not end.
Yay!
So did we guess Kristen's zodiac
Oh
sign?
man!
I know that we talked about this on our prep call.
I know, and
are you getting fire vibes too? But it's not fire because you said your moon is fire, right?
My moon is fire, yes. Yeah. I'm an Aries moon.
Aries moon, right. I'm getting fire vibes because I'm catching her Aries
All
moon.
of a sudden, I just wanted to say Cancer, and I don't know why. Did we talk about that already?
We talked about how I think she's an Earth sign, and I think we both thought she was another Taurus.
You did say that last time.
Yeah. But I don't know if we've confirmed
did we get
it
a...
or not.
All right, come on, Kristen. What's your sign?
Wait.
Cat.
Capricorn!
That's right.
My mom's going to be like, I knew it. My mom watches, and then she texts us. I already guessed it.
What's your mom?
Astrology. She's a Capricorn, so
Okay, great. So we'll love each other. Yeah, Capricorns are like magnets to other Capricorns.
That's
so
awesome. Well,
awesome.
that does explain why you are bringing people together, super organized, very hardworking, and that you have such a mission. So, should have known.
Should have known. I love it.
Kristen, what is your go-to coffee order?
I'm really simple. I just have an espresso machine at home, and I just do like a double shot over ice with some milk. That's it.
Nice.
love our
I love
espresso.
that.
Yeah.
What is your go-to pump-up song?
So I played volleyball in high school, and we used to come out to the song "Eye of the Tiger" because I grew up in the Philadelphia area, which is a song from the movie Rocky. So that song always pumps me up.
Love that.
That's amazing.
Great.
Tell us your favorite IVF self-care ritual, and this is important for anyone listening.
Honestly, I think the most important factor that I included into my regimen was acupuncture. And specifically the acupuncturist that I used. I scream her name from the mountaintops because she is truly a miracle worker. And Elaine, our friend that we have in common, was the one who referred me to her. And she's helped so many women get pregnant, both naturally and through IUIs and IVF. So she just really has dedicated her practice to helping women get pregnant through acupuncture.
That's incredible. And
Awesome.
for anyone in the New York, Long Island area, you said she's in Huntington, correct?
Yes, Dr. Erica Sue. She's at Rebalance Acupuncture in Huntington.
We'll have to link her as well if anyone's local.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so what's your favorite mantra on hard days?
Oh, on a really hard day, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on this podcast. I did once already, I think.
You can bleep it out, don't worry.
Fuck around and find out. One of my favorite podcasts is Not Gonna Lie with Kylie Kelsey, and she's talking about motherhood in a very unfiltered way. And so one of the things she says a lot is fuck around and find out, because on a tough day, I'm a hard worker, and so I'm not gonna deal with any nonsense. I don't have time for nonsense at this point in my life. So I'm a strong, powerful woman, and I will act as such when I'm having a tough day.
Well, that's a Capricorn sun with an Aries
Aries
moon
moon.
for you. Do you know your rising sign?
Yes, Sagittarius.
Oh, right. We
Ooh.
talked about that.
Yeah.
Yes, I love
All
this
right.
for you, and I love this for everyone in the group. We will share all the links to Kristen's group and nonprofit in the show notes. Please check them out or pass them to someone who needs them.
If you'd like to join the community or donate, everything you need is below.
Kristen, thank you so much for sharing your story and reminding us that none of us have to do this alone.
Yes. And thank you to everyone listening. Your presence here means everything to us.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you so much, ladies. This was awesome.
Season 2 is just getting started, and we have so many more stories, strategies, and soulful conversations planned.
Make sure you're subscribed because what's coming next is going to be big.
And if this already feels like home, which we hope it does, leave us a review and share it with a friend.
And tell us what you'd love to hear next. We're building it with you.
Bye.
Bye.
The Cast Compass Podcast. New episodes every week.
Follow, rate, and share with someone who needs a little direction.